Hi. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, here today to give you some top tips on using anger. I can feel that inside me to catapult your life. So thank you for joining me. Just give me a split sec to make sure we've got everything going properly. Oh, wow. So this gives you plenty of time, as I talk about that, gives you plenty of time to get your pen and paper, because clearly there's going to be some tips that I have used in my consulting business and for myself when that anger comes from nowhere. So thank you for coming. Woohoo, let's crack on. So before I start, I just want to acknowledge that anger is a human nature emotion. And you don't wake up one day and just become incredibly angry, even though we may think we do. We may think, oh, I've just woken up with this. But it actually comes from somewhere. So something has happened in the past, which means as of 30 seconds ago, 10 seconds ago, 15 seconds ago, all the way right back to when you're born. Something's happened in the past that has been unresolved. And I say unresolved on a deeper level. So maybe you've resolved it on a surface level. You're like, yep. Okay, that's okay. Whatever's happened, can't move on, can't move forward, all those things, because they're stories. But at a deeper level, it is sitting unresolved, because anything that is unresolved 100% will start coming up. It'll start bubbling away. So for example, we have wisteria at our house, and this wisteria is so annoying, and it just keeps growing. So I've killed off the trunk. Well, I thought I'd killed off the trunk. That's fine. And there's nothing coming from the trunk, but there's little bits that keep appearing, and they even appear in the most randomest spots. So I'm like, where is that little thing? So even though I've killed the trunk off, well, I thought, it just seems to be sprouting up, a little bit of a difference from everywhere. So when we think about this, I've clearly treated what I thought was the issue, but deep down there's still something niggling in there. So please be aware of that. Even though you say you've resolved it, if it's coming up, it's definitely 100% unresolved. And I often get people who say, oh, I've worked on that and I've done that. I'm like, okay, great. So are you okay with that if that ever happens again? Hell no. No way. I don't ever want to do that again. No way. Then clearly it's not resolved. I've forgiven that person, any of those things. It's clearly not 100% resolved until you can feel it in your heart, and it's more like a heart explosion that happens. So you know what I'm going to tell you now. If you don't deal with it, you know what happens. Big shite happens. Like, I'm talking about big shite happens. You sit in turmoil. You don't sleep. Or you actually literally want to go to sleep and just sleep everything away and wake up and hope that it's gone. You eat too much, or you don't eat at all. You know this stuff. You know this. Your body takes on the burden that you're carrying, and it is a really heavy burden. You get little bursts of things that come out. There's a pimple up here I've got. I don't even know what side it is. Big burst of stuff comes out. So it's actually time to look at this stuff. And one of my favorites is you say things you regret. Now, we do often open our mouth and we say things, but we do regret it when it comes out. It could take a minute, could take a month, it could take 5 months, it could take longer, whatever it is. Just know that regret is absolutely bleh. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's horrible. And it's worse than actually biting the people, because this one simmers at a deeper level, and it can often sit there for years. So whether your anger is physical or it's verbal, it's still anger. So we're just going to label it anger. It's just a label, it's just a word, it's just a name. So, but when I say verbal, people go, yeah, but I've never verbally abused someone, or I've never said that out loud, That's okay, that's fine. I'm talking about, that's your external voice. What about your internal voice that you say to yourself, or mumble under your breath, or anything like that? What about when you hit that keyboard and you become that, they're known as keyboard warriors? What about that? Is there some anger in what you say there? So be aware of that. That verbal is the external, internal, or even what you type. So grab your pen, let's get to it. Number one is an ever evolving question, and this is called why. So I'm going to tell you when you write why down as your number one, I want you to cross it off, because don't bother asking for your why. It's an ongoing cycle questioning process that's just going to allow you to have all the life sucked out of you, because you're never going to get an answer to a why. You may say to someone, why did you do this to me? Why did I do this? Have you ever actually got an answer to a why? Have you ever got an honest answer that sits in your heart? Not your head, in your heart. The answer is no. I'm going to say no. Surprise me. Say yes, and we'll question that one. But the answer is actually no. So cross off the why. Have it down there, and then cross it off to remind yourself when you get into that why zone. Nope, 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 nope. What do they do? They do this. I think that's what it is. That. No, 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 no. Number 2 is reframe. And if you're looking for the why, you can get it with just a little bit of reframing, even with your words. So you can say, where did this come from? Instead of why me, where did this come from? And it's like the why questioning process, but it just comes from a more inspired place and a more realistic place where you're going to get a heartfelt answer. So when we say, where did this come from? There's memories that are stored in either a warm feeling or a dark feeling. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull up that memory, because we're going to do it. I'm going to give you the examples of how to do this now, and you're going to do this when you get a chance. Also knowing that anger is going to build if you've only just done a little bit of surface level. So memories are stored in that emotion that's either a high or a low, a warm or a dark, a red or a black, or whatever you want to call it. So pull up that memory. Where did this come from? It's important to have that specific memory and it's clear in your mind. Then you're going to look at, who did it affect at that time? Not 10 years down the track. None of that. Who did it affect at that time? Once you've got that written down, you're going to write 3 words, and those 3 words are value to them. You're going to go, what? So what is the value to them of you having this, whatever you call it? You can call it an outburst, a frustration, anger, explosion, whatever it is. What is the value to them of having this, whatever that's happened? Now, you may go, there is none. There's no value to them. All I saw them was them rocking in the corner and everything was sad. Yep, okay. So cut that out. What is the benefit to them? What is the value to them? How did it help their life in any way? So maybe, for example, they learnt boundaries. Ooh, now that's a thought, boundaries. That's come up quite a lot with me this week. Maybe it was a wake-up call so they could get clear on what they want out of life. Like, let's have a look at what they want out of life. Maybe, and these are just maybes, and the reason I say maybe is because I would like you to look at this. So maybe they've gone, I can actually hear what Deborah's saying. I hadn't realized this is what it was. I had a person who would talk to me and I wouldn't hear until the moment the phone hit the wall, and I go, whoa, what was that? I missed that. Now, I'd heard it, but I hadn't actually heard it. I heard the words, but didn't hear it until that phone hit the wall, and then I'd be like, okay, what did I miss here? So maybe they heard what you've finally been saying when that anger outburst comes out. I know from my mother, she doesn't swear, which people are surprised by that. But when she says that swear word, if it does come out, I remember one time she said it and I was like, I've never heard my mum swear. I'm full on alert. I knew exactly what it was. So maybe they actually heard you for what that was saying. The next one is, what is the value to you? Because we've done the value to them, you're going to look at, with that pen again, you're going to look at the question of, what is the value to you? And when you're looking at that, you're going back into that memory again of, what is the value to you of you doing this, whatever we call it again, we call it an anger or outburst, whatever we call it, whatever we're calling this, label this event. What is the value to you of expressing yourself in this event? So maybe yours could be, you learn boundaries. Maybe. Maybe you were decluttering. Maybe you didn't want those people around. Now, when this actually happens, you don't want those people around because they now left you because you did this, whatever it is, or said this thing. Did you ask the universe for that? Did you actually ask the universe, I can't cope with them anymore, I want out of my life, whatever it is? Maybe you did. We know the answer is yes, because the universe is always listening. So, are you decluttering? Did you declutter? I was going to say maybe again. One of the ones I had is it made me more certain on only doing things that light me up in my world. So when I had a little outburst this week, or little, or any outburst, anger, whatever you want to call it, it actually got me certain about what I was doing in my world, if I was fulfilled by it or not. And then I started to look at, okay, how can I, it's a decluttering or delegating or whatever, how can I get this off my plate to give it to somebody else who will actually do it when they're in that glitter bomb zone. So anything that doesn't light you up, we know what that does. That just takes you down to that funk place. So let's pull yourself out and we look at that. So what is the value to them and what is the value to you? The next one is gratitude. And I'm putting my pen up here so you know this one. The next one is gratitude. And so I'm talking about gratitude in your heart, which is different to gratitude in your head. Because we can work on anything in your head, but the real result is when your heart feels it, shifts it, you have a physical reaction, and this is where you're going to get the greatest result. And this is actually where it's wiser to make all the decisions in your world, not so much here. So, are you grateful for this, whatever you want to call it? And if you're not grateful to this, do some more of value to them and value to you. Whatever one that's sitting uncomfortably for you, you will know when it feels right. You'll know when it feels right, and there's a shift in your head, but there's a big explosion of a shift in your heart. I call it a heart explosion. But whatever it is, there's a shift in here for you. That's when you know you've done enough values to them and values to you of whatever it is. So maybe you're going to do 5 values to them, but maybe you want to do 10 to you. Wherever it sits most uncomfortable, I'm not going to tell you how many to do. Maybe you want to do 500. I don't know. Whatever just sits right until you can actually feel it. The next one is, what do you desire from this? And this is my favorite one, is saying get clear on your direction. So to propel you actually forward, we've got to get clear of what you're doing, because we can propel you forward, but you might just go into another swamp pile, or you may go into this, or you may go into this. So let's get clear on your direction. Would you love different people around you? And I'm talking about work, home, your social influence. What is it? So the quality of your life is based on your surroundings. If you're not happy with your surroundings, then of course you're going to be doing certain things. If you're hanging around people and doing certain things that aren't you're doing them. Let's have a look at that. So what is it? What is that direction from you? What is that desire you'd actually would love in life? So look at those surroundings. Would you like I said, different people? Would you like your body to move differently? Would you like your head to move differently? What is it you would desire from this? Would you like to do more? Whatever that action is, what is that desire that you would like? The other one is, now if you haven't guessed, this means another tip. Just pull my pen up. Instead of saying it, just pull my pen up. So the other one is, you're going to build a time frame and to this desire. So if you're looking at changing your surroundings or your people or work or whatever it is, build a time frame to that desire, but be realistic. As you know, as we all know, life happens. And whatever that life is, don't go for the running race to beat everyone. Like, do it in your time, not what others people say you have to do it in. So what is that time frame that you can do this by? So if you're looking at changing your moving house, if you're like, I can't cope with this house, whatever it is, what's your realistic time frame? Is it going to take? Are you going to be out of there in a week? Are you going to be out of there in a month? Are you going to look at 3 months, 6 months, whatever? So ensure that your time frame is realistic to you and your world. The next one is team. And I'm talking about this because I'm saying build a team. I said build a time frame. I'm talking about build a team. Build a team who would love to help you. Now, we know people love to help, but there's some people who aren't really skillful at it. And that's okay. But get the best people around. Get the best people for that job, the best people to help you who can help uplift you. So build that team. And be aware you may not have them in your circle, but what type of person would you love? So if you're going to say, I don't have anyone, this is what I want. I'd like somebody who can think clearly, call me on my stuff, help me with this, do some admin behind this, get into the physical and do this, and you don't have that person on your team. And when I say team, I'm not just talking about your sports team or your work team. I'm talking about your world. Who is that social circle? Who are those friends and family? Who are those connections who know people? So when you're writing about building that team, what type of people would you love? Get clear on that. Get clear on what type of, I'd like people who are inspired. I'd like people who are quick to take action, who listen and have ideas, but don't overwhelm me with stuff. So what is it you would like around you? Build that team that inspires and lights you up. The next one is I know some people like this, and this is get shite done. Get shite done, which is just like Nike. It's about taking action. Just take action. Get it done. Get moving. Don't let the grass go under your feet. Get moving. Once you've got that time frame, once it feels right, things will flow into place. So that comes along with that trust as well. But just get moving. Just get going. Now the other one is a don't. And you know how I said about the why, and I said do a big cross? I would like you to write this one down, and that's don't look back. You might want to circle that, because there's going to be moments where you're going to go, oh, but what about that? What about that? What about that? So your past is in the past. 100% your past is in the past. You can't take it back, but you can appreciate that journey from that past to where you are. And that's those steps about value to you and value to others. So if you feel yourself creeping back into that, oh, I remember this and it hurt that person. I remember this and I didn't get back to that person. Or I remember this and whatever it is. Go back to that little exercise and maybe add 1 or 2 on each one, just to shift that energy in with you. So know that past, it's done. It's behind you. It's gone. You cannot take it back. So bring it forward and appreciate, as you bring it forward, appreciate the experiences along the way. And the last one. This is the last one. This is the most important one, is reach out. Reach out, reach out, reach out. If you reach out to me, I can help you. If you reach out to me, if you don't reach out to me, I can't help you. So reach out, reach out, reach out. I'm here for you to help you with these tips. I'll put my 15-minute call in the comments here if you'd like to jump in on a quick call with me to go, hey, I'm stuck with this. I've only got one value to this person. I don't really know them. I never see them again. Can you help me? Sure. My mind's ticking constantly throughout the day of value to them, value to me, value to them, value to me. It's just a really quick, simple process. Don't get yourself caught in that hamster wheel that you're going to go round and round and round, because it's an endless cycle, and that's a really, endless cycle to be on. So that's Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, talking about the top tips on anger to catapult your life. I would love to know what you enjoyed of today. If you have any others, you're welcome to put them in the chat, and I'm here for you. That's me signing off. Over and out. Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist. Thanks for coming today. See ya.